In the ancient times, when neither the heavens nor the earth had a fixed form and all beings hid within the primordial chaos, the great gods of the heavens gathered to consult. They were searching for those to entrust with a mighty mission to shape the earth and bring order to the chaotic world. The choice fell upon two deities among them: Izanagi, the male god of pure spirit and steadfast strength, and Izanami, the female goddess of radiant beauty and shining light. They were given a sacred tool, the jeweled spear Amano no Nuboko. The gods said to them, "Descend to the bridge of heaven, stir this spear into the sea of chaos, and build the earth for us." The two deities stood upon the floating heavenly bridge, gazing down into the endless sea of mist and dark waters. Izanagi took the spear, and with slow and solemn movement, lowered it into the depths and stirred it. When he raised it again, droplets of water dripped from its tip onto the ocean below, and each drop turned into a small island. That was the beginning, the first land emerging from the vast sea. They descended to this first island and named it Onogoroshima, the first sacred island. There, they decided to continue their task and create the whole earth. But before they could begin, they had to unite. They built a great pillar in the center of the island, and each circled around it from opposite sides. When they met, Izanami spoke first with words of love, and Izanagi answered. Yet the higher gods disapproved, saying, "In sacred rites, the woman must not speak first." So the two deities circled the pillar again. This time Izanagi spoke first, and their marriage was thus sanctified and blessed. From the union of these two deities, the islands of Japan were born one after another. With each birth, the land grew, mountains rose, rivers flowed, and seas took their form. After the islands came the birth of the lesser gods, gods of mountains and rivers, gods of wind and fire, gods of rain and oceans. But not every birth was blessed. When Izanami gave birth to the fire god, she was burned by his flames, suffering greatly until death took her. She fell into the land of shadows, Yomi, leaving Izanagi broken-hearted and alone. Thus began the tragedy. What started as a tale of creation turned into a story of loss and eternal sorrow. Unable to endure the separation, Izanagi resolved to attempt the impossible, to follow her into the underworld and bring her back. He entered the dark gate of Yomi, wandering through desolate paths covered in mist, until he found her sitting in the darkness. He called out, "Izanami, return with me. The earth is not yet complete without you." She raised her head sadly and replied, "I have eaten the food of the dead. I can no longer return to the world of the living. But wait, here I shall seek permission. Perhaps the gods will allow me to come back." Izanagi agreed, but he could not restrain his impatience. He lit a small flame and cast its light upon her face. There, he saw the dreadful truth. Her once beautiful body had decayed, with maggots, serpents, and foul creatures crawling from her bones. Enraged, Izanami cried out, "You have broken your vow. I will never return with you again." The guardians of Yomi, fearsome beings, chased Izanagi through the shadowy corridors. He fled with all his strength, throwing behind him stones, charms, and weapons to delay them. At last, he reached the gate of the underworld and rolled a colossal boulder into place, sealing the passage between the realm of the living and the dead. Standing upon the rock, gasping for breath, he heard her voice from beyond the barrier. "Izanagi, by your betrayal you have become my enemy. I swear that I shall take 1,000 lives each day." Through burning tears, he replied, "Then I shall cause 1,500 to be born every day." From that moment on, the bond between the worlds of the living and the dead was severed. Izanami remained in the shadows, while Izanagi became the god of purity and boundaries, forever mourning his lost love. Thus, Japan begins with a solemn myth, one that unites creation and loss, life and death. The legend of Izanagi and Izanami, not merely a story of how the islands were formed, but of love and betrayal, hope and fate, a destiny that cannot be escaped.